Hello guys, welcome to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, myself Nandini and I am a CA Inter student and यहाँ पर मैं लाइफ स्टाइल करने वाली हूँ so that we can avoid distraction. And if you want to be a part of this channel, do subscribe that channel and let's study here and stay connected. Hello guys, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Do like the stream so that it can motivate us and inspire us for more efforts. Hello everyone. Hi everyone. Now the place of the supply. If you see the place of the supply, what is the significance of the place of the supply of the goods or the services under GST? The place of the supply under GST is a crucial because GST is destination based consumption because GST is. Hello Yanashak. Hi. Do subscribe the channel and like the stream. Now the place of the supply under GST is a crucial because GST is a destination based tax based consumption tax. The meaning of the tax is levied where the goods and the services are consumed, not where it is originated. Hello everyone. Hi. It identifies the justification that should receive the tax revenue. It helps to classify a transaction as an intrastate tax with the CGST and UGST, UTGST or the inter-GST or in the interstate tax with the IGST, ensuring the correct tax collection and distribution. Now section 7 of the IGST Act, interstate supply. They mention the cases where the supply is treated as an interstate supply as per the section 7 of the IGST Act. The location of the supplier and the place of the supply are in the different states and the territories or in the state of the union territories respectively. The supply of the goods imported into the territory of India till they cross the customs of the frontiers of India. The supplies of the services imported into the territory of India. They supply to or by the special economic zone developer or the special economic zone unit. Now the supply is in the taxable territory. The supply is in the taxable territory, but it is not an intra-state supply and also not the covered in the above cases. This section 9 of the IGST the location of the supply and the place of the supply in the territorial waters. Now to fix the location of the supply and the place of the supply in the territorial waters, section 9 of the IGST Act overrides the entire act as a state that and states that if the location of the supplier or the place of the supply is in the territorial water, then the location of the such or the place of the supply as the case may be shall be deemed to be in the coastal state or the union territories where the nearest point of the appropriate baseline is located. Now section 10 of the IGST, the place of the supply of the goods or other than those imported into or exported from India or exported from India. The section 10(1)(a), section 10(1)(a), section 10(1)(a), the place of the supply of the goods if the supply involves the movement of the goods. In case of the domestic supply, what is the place of the supply where the goods are removed? Now the section 10(1)(a), the IGST states that if the supply involves the movement of the goods by the supplier or the recipient or any other person, then the place of the supply of such goods shall be the location of the goods at the time at which the movement of the goods terminate for the delivery to the recipient. For the delivery to the recipient, now PSL Limited, a registered person is in Chandigarh, Punjab. Orders from the CMR Limited is a registered person in Ranchi, Jharkhand. For the delivery of the goods to Maharashtra Limited, a registered person in Ranchi, Jharkhand. Now you are required to determine the place of the supply for both the supplies made by the CMR Limited as well as PSL Limited. Determine the place of the supply. PSL Limited, registered person, Chandigarh, Punjab. Orders the CMR Limited, a registered person in Ranchi, Jharkhand, and delivery of the goods MHT Limited. Now, in case of the bill to ship to in case of the bill to ship to supply model where the goods are delivered by the supplier to the recipient at the direction of the third person, the place of the supply is the principal place of business of such third person. Section 10(1)(b), section 10(1)(b), the place of the supply involving the movement of the goods will be their location at the time when the movement of the goods terminate for the delivery to the recipient. For the delivery to the recipient, section 10(1)(a), section 10(1)(a). Then conclusion. Accordingly, in case of the supply made by the CMR Limited, the place of the supply is Chandigarh, Punjab. Accordingly, in case of the supply made by the PSL Limited, the place of the supply is Ranchi, Jharkhand. Hello guys, do subscribe the channel. PSR Limited, a registered person in Chandigarh, Punjab. Orders from the CMR Limited, a registered person Ranchi. The place of the supply would be Chandigarh, Punjab, and now section 10(1)(c), the place of the supply of the goods. The place of the supply of the goods is the supply does not involve the movement of the goods. The place of the supply of the goods, if supply does not involve the movement of the goods. The Newton Private Limited, New Delhi, has leased its machine cost 8 lakh to the Gravity Private Limited, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, for the production of the goods on the monthly rate of 35,000. After 12 months, the Gravity Private Limited requested Newton Limited to sell the machine to it for rupees 5 lakh, which is agreed to by Newton Limited. Determine the place of the supply of the nature of the transaction. Now, the legal provision. If the supply does not involve the movement of the goods, then the place of the supply shall be the location of the goods at the time of the supply discussion and conclusion. In this case, the machine was sold by the Newton Limited without the movement. Hence, the place of the supply is Noida, Uttar Pradesh, since the location of the supplier at the New Delhi and the place of the supply is Noida, Uttar Pradesh, that is two different states. Hence, it is an interstate supply of the GST of the IGST people and IGST is given. Now, section 10(1)(ca), the supply made to the unregistered person. Supply made to the unregistered person. The having the permanent residence in Bhavnagar, Gujarat, purchased a car from the Kiara Motors in Jaipur, Rajasthan, and takes advantage of the lower registration charges and road tax. The Garima took the delivery of the car from the Jaipur and returned with the car to her residence in Bhavnagar, Gujarat. Address of the Garima recorded in the invoice Kiara Motors and the name of the State Gujarat. Now the legal provision where the supply of the goods is made to an unregistered person. To an unregistered person, the place of the supply is the location as per the address of the unregistered person in the invoice. The further regarding the name of the state of the unregistered person in the invoice is deemed to be the recording of the address of the unregistered person. Conclusion: the place of the supply is Bhavnagar, Gujarat. Then Mr. Bindusar is an employee in in Galgotia and Sons working on the working at its Mumbai Maharashtra office. Mr. Bindu is an registered person from the GST law. His family is located in Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh, and his son requires a laptop for his family project. For his school project on the urgent basis. Therefore, Mr. Bindusar placed an order in the Amazon e-commerce platform for the supply of the laptop and the latest configuration for the which is to be delivered to its registered location. Mr. Bindusar, while placing the order on the e-commerce platform Amazon, provided the billing address to the apartment located in the Mumbai. You are required to determine now if the supply of the goods is made to a registered person. The place of the supply shall be the location as per the address of the said person recorded in the invoice section 10(1)(ca). However, if the address of the unregistered person is not recorded in the invoice, the place of the supply to be the location of the supplier. Now, as per the CBSE clarification, the billing address differs from the deliver address in the invoice. In case of the supply of the goods to the unregistered person, the place of the supply shall be address of the delivery of the goods recorded and on the invoice. Also, in such cases involving the supply of the goods to an unregistered person, where the billing address and the delivery address are different, the supply delivery address of the recipient on the invoice for the purpose of the determination of the place of the supply of the goods. Now conclusion: thus the place of the supply of the laptop is Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. Now section 10(1)(d), section 10(1)(d), the place of the supply of the goods that are assembled or installed at a site. Determine the place of the supply in each of the following cases. The Pure Refineries, Mumbai, Maharashtra gives the contract to PQ Limited, Ranchi, Jharkhand to supply the machine which is required to be assembled in the power plant to its rectifier located Misho Machine Limited, registered in the state of the Andhra Pradesh, supplied the machinery to the Key Wind Farms Limited, registered in the state of the Karnataka. However, the machinery was assembled and installed in the windmill of the Kayan Wind Farms Private Limited, located in the Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, purchased the manufacturing machine from the Madhav Steel Industries, located at Jaipur, Rajasthan, for being installed in the factory located at the Haridwar. Now, in the given cases, the place of the supply of the site, the place of the supply is the site of the assembly of the machine, that is Kutch. Even though Pure Refineries is located in Maharashtra, in the given case, the place of the supply is the place of the assembly of the machine, Tamil Nadu. Thus, the place of the supply, the place of installation, Haridwar, Uttarakhand. Then section 10(1) is place of the supply of the goods supplied on the board a convenience. Harpreet, a New Delhi board, New Delhi boards the New Delhi Kota train, and at New Delhi he sells the goods and taken on the board to by him at New Delhi. It is in the train at Jaipur during the journey. During the place of the supply, determine the place of the supply. Legal provision: the place of the supply of the goods supplied on the board convenience like aircraft, on the board convenience like aircraft, train vessels, motor vehicles is the location where such goods have been taken on the board. Section 10(1) then the place of the supply of the goods, supplied on board a convenience is determined under this provision. Even if the place of the supply even if the supply has been made by any of the passenger on the board the convenience and not by the carrier of the convenience. Conclusion: thus the place of the supply of the goods is the location at which the goods are taken and taken on board, that is the New Delhi, and not Jaipur where the goods have been sold. Now the section 12 of the IGST at the place of the supply of the services, if the location of the supplier and the location of the recipient is in India. Section 12 to the place of the supply, generally the default rule. Mr. A, a CA in the Gurugram, Haryana, registered in Haryana, provides the consultancy services to his client Mr. C, who is a resident and the Delhi but is not registered under GST. The address of the Mr. C is available in the records of Mr. A. What will be the answer to the address of Mr. C is not available to the records of Mr. A? As per the provision of the section 12 to as per the provision of the section 12 to the IGST Act, the place of the supply of the services, other than those specified under the section 12.3 and 12.14, 12.3 and 12.14 shall be as under. If the supply is made to a registered person, the place of the supply shall be the location of the registered person. If the supply is made to an unregistered person, the place of the supply shall be the location of the recipient if the address is available in the records of the supplier, and the location of the supplier in other cases, and the location of the supplier in other cases. The discussion and conclusion in the address. If the address of Mr. C is available, in the records of Mr. A, the place of the supply shall be the location of Mr. C. There is no delay. If the address of Mr. C is not available in the records of Mr. A, the place of the supply shall be the location of Mr. A, which is Gurugram. Now section 12.3, the place of the supply of the services related to the immovable property. The place of the supply in relation to the immovable property situated in India is the location of the immovable property. Suppose the road is constructed from Delhi to Mumbai, covering the multiple states. What will be the place of the supply of the construction services? Now the section 12.3 of the IGST Act, if the immovable property is located in more than one state, the supply of the services related as made in each of the states is proportion of the value of the supply separately collected or determined in the contract agreement entered into. Now in the absence of such contracts or agreement, the value of the supply of each state is determined on the prescribed reasonable basis. In the absence of the contract, the agreement between the supplier and the recipient of the services, the proportionate value of the services supplied in the different state where the immovable property is located in the computed on the basis of the area of the immovable property lying in each state. Now, Akar Advertisement Agency is a registered person in the Nagpur, Maharashtra, wants to display the product of its client at the most prominent places in the different states. It took a right to use the space of the hoardings mounted on the fixed surface attached to the earth situated in Udaipur, Rajasthan, Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, and GN Enterprises and registered in the state of the Chhattisgarh. Akar and Advertisement Agency has an exclusive right to use the space and also to manage the advertisement on the hoardings. Now, what will be the place of the supply of the services provided by the GN Enterprises to the Akar Advertisement Agency Limited? The hoarding and the hoarding structure erected on the land should be considered as a immovable structure. Furniture has been embedded in the earth. Now, CBIC has a clarification that the place of the supply of the services provided by way of the supply, sale of the space on the immovable property, or the grant of the right to use an immovable property is the location at which the immovable property is located. That is the location where the hoarding structure is located. Section 12.3 is Section 12.3a. Now discussion and conclusion in the given case. The place of the supply of the security, the place of the supply of the services provided by way of the supply of the sale of the space on hoarding structure or advertising, or for the grant of the rights, or for the grant of the right to use the hoarding structure for the advertising is the location where such hoarding structure is located. Thus for hoarding located in the Udaipur, thus for the hoarding located in Udaipur, the place of the supply is Udaipur, Rajasthan, and for the hoarding located in the Gwalior, the place of the supply is Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. Now section 12.4, the place of the supply of the services based on the place of the supply of services based on the place of the supply of the services based on the performance. Mr. Timmy Farida, a makeup artist at Kolkata, goes to Jaipur, Rajasthan for doing a makeup of Miss Simran Kapoor, a Bollywood actress based on Mumbai. Now answer the legal provision, the place of the supply of the restaurant and the catering services and the beauty treatment services. Restaurant catering and beauty services and beauty treatment services shall be the location where the services are actually performed. Services are actually performed in the given case. Miss Jimmy Farida has provided the makeup services at the Jaipur, Rajasthan. That is the place of the supply. Now section 12 5 section 12 5 section 12 sub 5 section 12 5 the place of the supply of the services related to the training and the performance appraisal relating to the training and performance appraisal. Do consultant Kolkata impact the GST training to the accounts and finance personnel to accounts and personal finance of the Sun Siemens Limited Guwahati Assam register office at the company's Kolkata's office which is also registered under GST, which is also registered under GST. Legal provision as per section 12 of the IGST, the recipient of the services is the registered. The place of the supply of the service is the location of such person. However, if there is a recipient is not registered, the place of the supply is the place where the services are performed. Where the services are performed. That the discussion in the given case is the contract is entered with the Guwahati office, which is a registered recipient. The place of the supply is the location of the registered person, that is the Guwahati. Then Section 12 is the place of the supply for the admission to the events. Mr. Exa Kolkata purchased the online tickets for the Aquatica water park in Mumbai. Answer the legal provision as per section 12(6) of the IGST. The services provided by way of the admission to a cultural as artistic, scientific, educational, entertainment event, or amusement park, or any other place of the services and the services ancillary thereto. The place of the supply shall be the place where the event is actually held, or where the park or such place is actually located. Yeah, guys, do help us to get more subscribers so that it can motivate us to make such efforts for creating new content. आज पार्क ही नहीं है लाइव में. Section 12(7) the place of the organization. The place of supply for the organization of the events. What would be the place of the supply of the services provided by an event management company for organizing a sporting event for the sports federation which is held in the multiple states. Now study as per the section 12(7) of the IGST Act. As per the section 12(7) as per section 12(7) of the IGST Act, if the recipient of the services is registered, the place of the supply of the services for organizing the event is the location of such person. However, if the recipient is not registered, the place of the supply is the place where the event is held, as per the explanation to the section 12(7) of the IGST Act. If the event is held in the multiple states and the consolidated amount is charged for such services, the place of the supply will be the place of the supply will be deemed to be the each state in proportion of the value of the services determined for the contract or the agreement. Now, as per the rule 5 of the IGST rules, in the absence of the contract or the agreement between the supplier and the recipient, the proportion value, the accounting principle generally acceptable accounting from taxable Moxie Pharmaceuticals registered under the IGST at the Jaipur, the Rajasthan hires the Sargam Events LLP registered under the GST at the Madhya Pradesh for its annual event to be held in the Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Determine the place of the supply. CA Inter. Okay. And so the legal provisions, the place of the supply of the services provided to the registered person by way of the organization of the cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, or the entertainment event, or the services related to such events shall be the location of the recipient. Conclusion: thus, the place of the supply is Jaipur, Rajasthan. The value shall be determined by the application of the generally acceptable accounting policy. What is this? Jaipur. Determine the place of the supply in each of the following cases. Mr. Joy, an unregistered person of Kolkata, West Bengal, sends the courier through the Kolkata, West Bengal, based on the Mohan Courier Agency to his sister in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Center the Lakhan Singh Transport Private Limited, a good transportation agency registered in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is hired by Ram Trade Links. A registered supplier in New Delhi to transport its consignment of the goods from its warehouse to Delhi, in Delhi to the house and the buyer located in the Roorkee, Uttar Pradesh. The legal provision as per the section 12(8) of the place of the supply for the transportation of the goods, including the mail or courier. First is the place of the supply for the transportation. Place of supply for the transportation of the goods, including the mail or courier. Legal provision as per section 12(8) of the IGST. The place of the supply of the services by way of the transportation of the goods, including the mail or courier. The place of the supply shall be as under if the recipient is registered, the place of the supply shall be the location of the such registered person. If the recipient is not registered, the place of the supply shall be the place where the goods are handed over for their transportation, where the goods are handed over for their transportation. Then the conclusion: in the given case, Mr. Joy handed over the goods to the courier agency at Kolkata, West Bengal. Hence, the place of the supply is Kolkata. In the given case, the recipient being being registered, the place of the supply is the location of the recipient, New Delhi. Now, Section 12(9), the place of the supply for the transportation of the passenger. Section 12(9), the place of the supply for the transportation of the passenger. Mr. Nitin, an unregistered person, resides in Rewa, Madhya Pradesh, books a two-way air journey tickets from Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh to Jaipur, Rajasthan on 6 September and back. He leaves Prayagraj on 11 September in the morning flight and the land to Jaipur the same day. He leaves Jaipur on 15 September in the late night and hands to the Prayagraj for the next day. The legal provision: in the given case, the passenger. Sorry, guys. In the case of the passenger transportation services, the place of the supply shall be, if the recipient is a registered person, the location of the such registered person. If the recipient is an unregistered person, the place where the passenger embarks for the continued journey. Also the return journey. is treated as a separate journey. Section 12.9 discussion and conclusion. In the given case, the place of the supply of the outward journey, outward and the return journey are the location where the Mr. Nitin embarks on the conveyance for the continuous journey. Therefore, the place of the supply for the outward, that is Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. For the return, it is Jaipur and Rajasthan. Section 12 and the place of the supply of the services. The place of the supply of the services. The place of the supply of the services provided on the board are convenience. On the board are convenience. Mr. X is traveling from Delhi to Mumbai in an airjet flight. He desired to watch an English movie during the journey. By making a necessary payment, determine the place of the supply. Legal provision as per section 1210, as per section 1210, as per section 1210 10 of the adjusted the place of the supply of the services supplied on a board convenience, including a vessel, aircraft, including a vessel, an aircraft, a train or a motor vehicle shall be location of the first scheduled point. Departure of that convenience or the journey. For the journey, discussion and conclusion. In the given case, the place of the supply of the services of showing the movie on demand is the first scheduled point. Departure on the convenience, that is Delhi. Now section 12.11, the place of the supply of the telecommunication services. The place of the supply of the telecommunication. The place of the supply of the telecommunication services. What is the place? What is the place of the supply for the mobile connection? For the mobile connection, can it be the location of the supplier? Can it be the location? No, the location of the supplier of the mobile services cannot be the place of the supply. No, the location of the supplier of the mobile services cannot be the place of the supply, as the mobile companies are the providing the services in the multiple states and many of these services are interstate. If the location of the supplier is taken as the place of the supply, the consumption principle will be broken and all the revenue may go to the few states wherein the supplier are located. The place of the supply of the mobile in connection depends to the whether the connection is a postpaid or prepaid. Postpaid or prepaid. For the postpaid communication, for the postpaid connections, the place of the supply is the location of the billing address of the recipient of the services in the recorded by the supplier of the services. Now for the prepaid services connection, the services is supplied through the selling agent, reseller distribution of the SIM card or the return or the recharge voucher. The place of the supply is the location of the address of the selling agent, reseller, distributor, as per the record supplied in the time of the supply. Now the service is the service is supplied by any person to the final subscriber. The place of the supply is the location where such repayment is made, where such prepayment is received or the voucher absorbed. Then the services is supplied in other cases. The place of the supply is the address of the recipient as per the records of the supplier of the services. And if address is not available, the place of the supply shall be the location of the supplier of the services. Now the recharge of the prepaid services is done through the internet e-payment. The place of the supply shall be the location of the recipient of the services in the record of the supplier. Mr. Karan Mumbai takes a postpaid mobile connection in Mumbai from the services provider Frisia Limited and gives his residence address at Mumbai as the address of the billing with the legal provision. The place of the supply of the telecommunication services, including the data transfer, broadcasting cable, and the direct to home television services to any person in case of the mobile connection. For telecommunication and internet services provided on the postpaid basis, both be the location of the billing address of the location of the billing address of the recipient of the services on the record of the supplier of the services. Section 12.11 conclusion. Thus, in the given case, the place of the supply is the location of the bill address of the recipient, that is Mumbai. Now section 12.12, the place of the supply of the banking and the financial services, including the stock book including the stock booking services with reference to GST law. Determine the place of the supply with the reasons in the following Independent circumstances. A person from Mumbai goes to Kullu Manali and takes the some services from the ICICI Bank in Manali. What is the place of the supply? Miss Kanika in Kolkata, West Bengal, visited Jodhpur Law University and paid her college fees for the purchasing the demand of the draft for the bank located in the university company's university campus. Miss Kanika did not have any account with the bank. The legal provision, the place of the supply of the banking and the financial services, including the stockbroking, shall be as follows. If the location of the recipient is available in the records of the supplier, the location of the recipient of the services. If the location of the recipient is not available in the records of the supplier, the location of the supplier of the services. The place of the supply is the location of the supplier, that is Kullu Manali, Himachal Pradesh, as the location of the recipient of the services is not available in the record. Since the location of the recipient is not available in the records of the supplier, thus the place of the supply of the location is the supplier services Rajasthan. Then section 12 3, section 12 13, section 12 13, section 12 13, the place of the supply of the insurance services. Determine the place of the supply in each of the following cases. An unregistered person from the Gurugram for whom Karam travels by the Air India flight from the Mumbai flight from the Mumbai to Delhi gets a gets his travel insurance done in Mumbai. What is the place of the supply of the insurance services? Now Miss Shanti, unregistered resident of Gujarat, went to meet her parents in the native place Patna, Bihar, and buys a medical insurance policy for her parents from the insurance company MN Insurance of Patna. Legal provision, the place of the supply of the insurance services provided. Section 1213, the place of the supply of the insurance services provided to section 1213. Section 1213, a registered person shall be the location of such the a registered person shall be the location a registered person shall be the location of such registered person shall be the location of the such registered person. An unregistered person and an unregistered person and an unregistered person shall be the location of the recipient of the services shall be the location of the recipient of the services in the records of the supplier. In the records of the supplier. Conclusion, the place of the supply is the location of the recipient of the services in the records of the supplier, that is Gurugram. As the travel insurance is taken by the unregistered person, the place of the supply is the location of the recipient of the services in the records of the supplier, that is Patna. Now section 1214, the place of the advertisement services provided to government. Section 1214, the place of the supply of the advertisement services provided to government. How to determine the place of the supply? If the advertisement services is supplied to the central government, the state government, statutory bodies, local authority mean for the state of the union territory as per section 1214 of the IGST Act. If the advertisement services are provided to the government statutory bodies, the place of the supply in each of the state union territory, they where the ad is broadcasted or disseminated, the proportionate value is the based on the dissemination in each state as per the contract agreement. If no contract is existed, the value is determined as per the rule 3 of the IGST rules. Then combined question is section 12 of the IGST determine the place of the supply along with the reasons in the following cases. Mr. A, a chartered accountant registered in Kolkata, supplies the services to his client in the Bhubaneswar, registered in Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Now Mr. X, registered in Guwahati, was availed alliance services of BSNL. The telephone is installed in the residential premises in Kolkata and the billing address is the office of Mr. X in Guwahati. Mr. Z, an unregistered person in Kolkata, sends a courier from New Delhi to his friends in Chennai. In Chennai, the Tamil Nadu while he was a trip to New Delhi. Then, as per Section 12(2) of the IGST Act, if the services other than the specified under the Section 12(3) and 12(14) are supplied to the registered person, the place of the supply shall be the location of the registered recipient. Registered recipient in the given case, the place of the supply is Bhubaneswar, Odisha. As per Section 12(11) of the IGST Act, the place of the supply of the services of the installation is fixed telecommunication line location where the telecommunication line is installed in the recipient. Thus, the place of the supply is the Kolkata in the case. Then, as per the Section 12(8) of the IGST Act, the services are supplied by way of the transportation of the goods, including the mail or the courier of the unregistered person. The place of the supply shall be the place where the goods are handed over to their transportation. Thus, the place of the supply is New Delhi in the given case. So it took me around 40 minutes to complete question solving of one chapter, that is place of supply. Now let's just end this session as I have to go for lunch. तब तक के लिए चलो, bye bye.